is something that is unbelievable. That a consultant and a client and a contractor can collude to deprive the people of Makûeni an amount totaling to 57 million. Honorable Speaker, this is unbelievable and unacceptable. What we found on the ground could not be called floodlights. They are just machines that were placed there for people to just show they delivered something to eat the money of this county. And the municipality board then was aware of what they were doing. The consultant was aware of what was happening. The contractor was aware. And this is something that we cannot let go unpunished as a county assembly. If we allow the county government of this government to perform projects the way I saw, Honorable Speaker, we will just sit here to be punished by the people of this county. So, Honorable Speaker, from where I sit, this is something that made me very sad and bitter, that we have floodlights in the name of municipality lights that cannot even light for 30 minutes. And we expect the people of Makûeni to congratulate that the government and the municipality is working. Honorable Speaker, it's a shame, and it is going to be pronounced as a shame, and it cannot be taken as anything less than a shame. So, Honorable Speaker, as I support the implementation of the committee recommendations, I will implore on this House, especially when it comes to oversight, let us oversight these municipality projects. Let us oversight all the projects of this county without necessarily asking who is implementing this. Honorable Speaker, if you go through this report, you will realize that we let the municipality do whatever they wanted. We let the consultant of these projects do whatever they wanted. And this is why we are in this mess as a county. That the people of Makûeni cannot enjoy the provision of 57 million by the World Bank and some matching grant that was put there by the county government of Makûeni. And we are now crying foul. We are now recommending that corrections must be made. Honorable Speaker, it's a shame. And we are going to go through this pain as we see the people of Makûeni suffer before these corrections are made. So, Honorable Speaker, it's very bad that this happened. I am going to be optimistic that it is not going to happen any further. And in this, I speak because I know there are ongoing projects for the municipalities. Honorable Speaker, we need the departmental committees to oversight the ongoing projects of the municipality so that we do not come and find ourselves in this other mess. It's a total mess, Honorable Speaker. We cannot allow this to continue, that we are sitting here complaining and saying 57 million of the Kenyan people of Makûeni is gone and nobody cares. You know, Honorable Speaker, it was bitter when a consultant spoke when we are on the field and asking, does it mean that the honorable members of this county do not have anything else just to come and follow a project that was paid in 2021? This is nonsense, Honorable Speaker. A consultant and a contractor would face you on the ground and openly tell you, we knew these designs cannot work, and they went ahead to implement. This is notorious, Honorable Speaker. We cannot accept this. And a municipality where this money was budgeted under, they allowed the same to go, and they knew that the designs were wrong. The contractor said these designs are wrong, and then they said through the consultant, continue implementing. How do you want us to save the people of this county if this is the conspiracy that is being done by the county clients, and it is being also followed through the consultants and the contractors? Honorable Speaker, this was a conspiracy to steal from the people of Makûeni, and we cannot call it anything short of that. I beg to support.
Member for Kakowaya Wote.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the motion. Mr. Speaker, I will use very few words. As you know very well, I'm the one who raised the statement and ended up to be a report from the committee and a motion today. Mr. Speaker, this was a well-planned scandal whereby the contractor was involved, the Wote municipality was involved, and also the consultant was involved, Mr. Speaker. You have seen what the committee have recommended and also what they have observed during their oversight tour to the different floodlights which were installed in Makûeni Wote municipality. Mr. Speaker, you have seen that the design was not well done. Also, the Wote municipality did not even raise an alarm during that period of any defect of these floodlights. And also, Mr. Speaker, you have heard even the contractor and also the consultant, how arrogant they were, because they knew very well they had done it, or they had done this mess together with the Wote municipality, the contractor, and also the consultant. So it's a cahoot to scandal, to defraud this Makûeni County government. Mr. Speaker, out of the floodlights, the community or the business community was denied a 24-hour economy. We are not able to enjoy our good life because there is no light. Also unemployment because of the extension of 24-hour economy or extension of our working hours, that could have built a good economy. Even our revenues could have raised from what we anticipated to see on 10 hours, 11 hours floodlights lighting the business centers. Mr. Speaker, as I said, honorable members, and I wish all the elected members representing Wote and also the nominated were here. Mr. Speaker, we shall not, or we should not even allow a conditional grant which has not been itemized and it's brought as a block figure and we are asked to pass that budget. That one should not happen. We have seen what has happened to this one municipality. We have seen what has happened to Narik. And another grant, Mr. Speaker, I have been given. Public participation must be done. Projects and programs identified by the citizens of Makûeni, and the itemized budget brought to this assembly so that it can be approved based on the items where they are going to be implemented, Mr. Speaker. There is no creation of wealth in this county. Mr. Speaker, I'm about to table a report which you requested us to table as Budget and Appropriation Committee on mega projects in Makûeni and also implementation status of the projects and programs as per the budget of 2021-2022, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, if we come up with projects and we build an asset which does not impact the people of Makûeni or in any way, social, economical, or anything, Mr. Speaker, I think those are dead assets. And anything, in any project, even when it comes to financial matters, anything which cannot, anything or any project which or an asset that cannot attract 8% interest is a dead asset, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, if that asset was built by using public funds and it cannot create any value to the Makûeni and create any value to the people of Makûeni, surely that is a dead asset or a dead project, which we have just thrown money in the sea, which will not see it at the end of the day. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I support this one and I support the recommendation by the committee, which are very perfect and to the point. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Member for Elima Wote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for according me this ample time. Let me take this time to appreciate the committee for the good work. And as I support this motion, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think it's a motion which needs to serve as an eye-opener. Everybody sitting here has been vested with the trust of some money. And what surprises and what eats us most is that this is borrowed money. It's money funded by World Bank, not even our own kit. The funders expect to see results. The funders expect to see the benefit this money is going to bring. But somebody connives and sees somewhere and comes up with a plan to deflate or to take away 57 million shillings from the poor Makûeni, which is struggling to bring Makûeni to the level of Nairobi, Machakos, Kitui, and the rest. I don't know, as a house, we need to come up with these strong rules to deal with such kind of culprits, because we cannot let them go, as I echo the words of Honorable Member Elizabeth. This is a well-orchestrated system to take away money from Makûeni County. At the moment, I don't know, even the projects we are doing now, how many are safe if this is the kind of work and the quality of work we are expecting. It becomes a question of, are we really safe in the hands of the so-called consultants, the hands of the so-called contractors? Should we narrow ourselves to the procurement processes within our county? Because if there is anything which brings us poor quality contractors, must be the process of even the procurement. Because some of these are actually serious. 57 million, Mr. Speaker, sir. It makes me feel bad. What am I saying? When you look at the report, 3 things are very key. People will quote bill of quantities and supply the opposite. So as members, we need to be on the top of the agenda, that the kind of BQs we are getting is not what we are getting as installation on the ground. It is a question of, and the owners of this house, to be strong and thorough. And me, I would say, Mr. Speaker, sir, from your chair and from your authority, let these people be dealt with by the law. We know them, we know where they are.
Comments, Honorable Mudike, who is a member of the committee. Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow this to happen any longer. And we also should not, we should protect ourselves as an assembly from being part of the blame in future. Mr. Speaker, our mandate is to do oversight on projects so that our people are not defrauded. So, Mr. Speaker, as I want to congratulate that committee for the good job and the good recommendations, I'm happy that they have recommended recovery of monies, and they have also recommended blacklisting of that particular contractor who seems to be well connected, Mr. Speaker. How can a consultant face a committee of this assembly and say that they knew and we are not supposed to be asking questions? Mr. Speaker, at what point should the committees come in when the projects are being implemented, Mr. Speaker, so that we can avoid this kind of loss, Mr. Speaker? It is a shame that an organization, a serious organization like World Bank, can, when they hear such things, such findings and recommendations, Mr. Speaker, they will restrain in next time. They will refrain from giving us aid and grants, Mr. Speaker. So we cannot allow this to happen during our tenure. And we will, if we do, we are going to be responsible representatives of the people. What is killing us, Mr. Speaker, is this mentality of wanting to grow rich fast. The contractor wants to have a very big margin. Whoever has given the job wants to eat something from it. Whoever is doing the job, maybe the contractor has subcontracted, that person wants to eat. At the end of the day, there is very poor quality and very little service delivery or shoddy service delivery. Mr. Speaker, our contractors must be vetted, and we need to get the right people who are able, who have the capacity to do the jobs, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, let us not be part of this, and let us bite, because we were brought here to represent our people and to ensure that money is used prudently. So, Mr. Speaker, as somebody has said, let this report give us back the teeth that we need to bite, so that the next, the other contractors that are coming on board, Mr. Speaker, will do things keenly and knowing that repercussions will be will follow them if they don't act as they should. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Makûeni Wote.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this chance. I stand to support the motion. Mr. Speaker, I am a member of that committee. I'm even the vice chairman. And Mr. Speaker, that day, I was even the chief driver coordinating the logistics. To all mats we visited. And I remember, Mr. Speaker, I was even involved fully, even inside the houses, the stores, and we had several questions to the consultant and also the contractor. And at some point, I noted that there was misunderstanding between the contractor and the consultant. At one point, I remember the consultant would even go his way and replace some batteries. When we asked, he said they were trying to make the whole thing work. Mr. Speaker, I also want to note that the contractor at some point repaired or tried to repair or to attend to 2 mats. And that is the Nyunzu and another one. There's Nyunzu and a different one. And even up to date, the ones which were repaired are working, are given like 10 hours. 8, 10 hours, even 11 hours of lighting, full light. My opinion is the contractor to be given, although I know at some point he was breaching, should be given time, not really time, but he should attend to, because we already have 2. I quote in Swahili, they say, Mgala muwe na haki mupe. There are 2 mats which we are corrected, which we are attended to. And we went there as a committee, and those mats are working, are given between 8 to 11 hours a day in a night, during the night. So if now this contractor will not comply or will not correct, now we can now get to those actions. So what I'm trying to say, my opinion is, I don't want that we put this thing like someone was coming to kill. I don't know the contractor, I don't know even the consultant, I saw them that day. But with the experience that they attended to 2 of them, and even as we talk now, they are working. They are giving 8 to 11 hours a night. I think we also need to rethink. But I stand to support the motion 100%. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Ukia Wote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I once again stand to support this report. Mr. Speaker, I was part and parcel of the team that was doing the investigation of these floodlights. And Mr. Speaker, as I also support what my fellow member Muthike has said, what we saw on site, Mr. Speaker, was very disappointing. Mr. Speaker, we saw a consultant. And when you talk of a consultant, is someone who has been engaged because he's an expert in that field. But the consultant who was engaged in this project, Mr. Speaker, did not have the technical capacity, to implement this project, Mr. Speaker, because all throughout the implementation of this project, the contractor did not provide a solar technical person to check the installation, Mr. Speaker. As you all understand, Mr. Speaker, these installations were not all done in the same day. They were staggered. And I was surprised because the first installation was done, it failed to work. The second one failed in a short time. And the client, the consultant, and the contractor continued raising certificate to be paid for installation which is not working, Mr. Speaker. When we looked at the BQ and the design, Mr. Speaker, actually there was no design for the installation, Mr. Speaker. What was there is just a sketch. And as a committee, we wondered, how can such a project of such magnitude be given to people who don't know what they are doing? They are allowed to be paid for something they have done. It is not working, Mr. Speaker. And really, we were dismayed, Mr. Speaker. What my fellow member is saying was correction done at Nyunzu and the beach, Mr. Speaker. I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, it is not a correction. It was a trial and error. And the contractor had the audacity to tell us, I know I have done a correction, but it is not going to work, Mr. Speaker. What kind of arrogance is this, Mr. Speaker? What they did, Mr. Speaker, the installation at Nyunzu was to work with 12 batteries. They reduced to 8 batteries. That is not a correction, Mr. Speaker. When we asked them, they said because they were not given the proper design to install this project, they were doing trial and error to see if the project, they can work. When you look at the BQ, Mr. Speaker, what disappointed us? The kind of floodlights which were supposed to be installed, Mr. Speaker, they were not the right, they were not the ones at the BQ. The batteries which were supplied, I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, without missing a word, they were not new batteries, Mr. Speaker. And those batteries cannot even work. In the BQ, they were supposed to supply 200 H batteries. What we saw at the sites, 100 batteries. The kind of connection, Mr. Speaker, in those installations are wanting, Mr. Speaker. During our investigation, we asked even the electrical or solar expert who was supervising the project to be availed, Mr. Speaker. And he did not even appear, Mr. Speaker. What I can tell these members, one, our municipalities, and especially Wote municipality, we have a challenge on the technical team that is advising on the implementation of the project in our county, Mr. Speaker. And I want to urge these members, these municipalities, because when we engage them, they say they don't have the expertise, and that's the reason why they engaged the consultant. We also need people who can be able to identify consultants who are capable to implement our project in this county, Mr. Speaker. It is happening, and we have the advantage of getting this funding from World Bank. And if we let these municipalities implement the project the way they are, it is going to be another disappointment, Mr. Speaker. We have a lot of funds which are coming through our municipality, and we need a mechanism on how to ensure whatever is going to be implemented, it is implemented to the right standard, Mr. Speaker. We don't want to get this issue of BQs which are provided, and they are highly substandard, Mr. Speaker. I don't know what we are going to do, but I want to tell you, members, we need to be very keen, and not even these municipalities. We have a challenge in our technical expertise in our departments. We have projects which are being implemented by our various departments in our county, and the BQs which are being given for these projects actually are highly substandard. They are copy-pasting BQs which are not even talking with the design of what is being implemented, Mr. Speaker. And BQ comes from the design. Not you give a BQ which doesn't have a design, Mr. Speaker. So I urge members, let us take charge. Let us take charge. Let us know what is being implemented in our wards. Let us scrutinize those BQs. Let us scrutinize those designs and make sure we will not get substandard project at the end of the project implementation. Therefore, I urge members, as a committee, transport committee, we did our work thoroughly, Mr. Speaker, and we expect the recommendations we have given as a committee to be implemented as per the recommendation. And going forward, members, let us take charge on these projects. Let us do